In our number 10 spot, we have Hoover Dam, Nevada. Are we really surprised that something from Nevada is on this list? Nevada, you know, home of Area 51 and the aliens? I'm not. The Hoover Dam is such a cool sight to see, as unlike any other dam, water does not fall off the edge. It actually flows back up. What? Apparently this happens due to the structure of the dam itself, and because the updraft of the dam is so strong, it causes the water to move upwards instead of downwards. Fascinating. In our number 9 spot, we have the Paris Catacombs. Established in 1810, the Paris Catacombs became a home to more than 6 million skeletal French heads. I'm not joking. It's quite extraordinary and creepy at the same time. It's an underground ossuary located, of course, in Paris, France, that was built to consolidate Paris's ancient stone quarries. It was made essentially as part of an effort to eliminate the city's overflowing cemeteries. It was largely forgotten about until musicians started holding concerts there, and now it's become quite the tourist attraction. So interesting. I definitely want to visit it at some point in my life. In our number 8 spot, we have the Island of Snakes. Yeah, I would have thought that this place only existed in my nightmares, but unfortunately it's real. There's an island called Ilha da Queimada Grande, and this island is infested with poisonous snakes. Yep, it's an island in Brazil that's blocked off to civilians because of how dangerous it is. Only researchers with doctors present are allowed on the island to study the snakes, as some of them are just too dangerous to have anyone go there without a doctor. Why couldn't an island of puppies exist? I know Japan has a cat island, and boy do I want to go there. Dear creator, why snakes? Just why? Love your bestie, for the restie, Mel. In our number 7 spot, we have the Darvaza gas crater. Also known as the gateway to hell, the Darvaza gas crater is a giant fiery crater that has been burning for more than 40 years. It's located in the Turkmenistan desert, and apparently they say that it's the size of a football field. Okay, so let me get this straight. There is a fiery crater that looks like the gates of hell, hence the nickname, that has been burning for 40 years, and we're not trying to make it stop. Why? I shall never understand this world, but I guess perhaps we don't think that it's not completely unsafe because we don't seem to be trying to stop it. Apparently it was created after a group of Soviet engineers thought that they had stumbled across an undiscovered oil field and began drilling. The ground collapsed and suddenly a fiery crater emerged. It's become a bit of a tourist attraction over the years, and even a Canadian scientist by the name of George Karunas went into the crater to retrieve dirt to examine. Risked being burned to death, all in the name of science. In our number 6 spot, we have THORS Well. In Cape Perpetua in Oregon, there is a place called THORS Well, which is a gaping, seemingly bottomless sinkhole. Well, it's not actually bottomless, but it certainly seems that way as it swallows the seawater around it. This place is also known as being the drain pipe of the Pacific. It is a very dangerous natural wonder that scientists believe started out as a sea cave dug out by the waves before the roof eventually collapsed, and this then created an opening at the top and bottom. Scientists theorize that the well is likely only 20 feet deep. It's apparently a very magical sight to see on days that it is high tide, as the waves hit the rocks in a very Little Mermaid singing kind of way. If you don't get that reference, then sorry. The waves hit the rocks violently and funnels into the hole. That would be pretty spectacular to see, even though water scares me and I would probably want to be far away from it. Unless someone held my hand, then I would be fine. Hashtag wimpy kid. In our number 5 spot, we have the Fly Geyser in Nevada. This is a geyser that is located on a private island in Gerlach, Nevada, that apparently is very spectacular to see. It is one of Nevada's coolest attractions to see, in fact. If you don't know what a geyser is, it's a spring that has an intermittent discharge of water ejected turbulently, and with it is steam, as geyser field sites are usually located near an active volcano. The geyser apparently contains contains thermophilic algae, which thrives in moist, hot environments, and as a result, the rocks become colorful with hues of red and green. In 2016, the Burning Man Project, a non-profit organization, purchased the land that it's on, known as the Fly Ranch, for $6.5 million, and now the public has limited access to it. It must be a special place for them to have done that. In our number 4 spot, we have Lake Natron. The Salt Lake Natron, located in Tasmania, is probably one of my fave things to have existed on this planet. It's a pink lake, y'all. That's pretty cool. I don't know. If I lived close to there, I would be taking pics like all the time. Pink's my fave color, so that's why. How is this lake pink, you ask? Well, it's both a salt and soda lake. Not cream soda, although damn, that sounds delicious. On second thought. The thought of it mixed with salt makes me want to hurl, so never mind. The soda part just means that the lake is heavy on the alkaline side of neutrality. The lake is in the Eurasia region of Tasmania, and it's quite massive at 57 kilometers long and 22 kilometers wide. It's quite shallow though at 3 meters deep. Because of its high alkaline pH, this is not a lake that you want to swim in unless you want to get sick. Ah well, at least it's pretty to look at. In our number 3 spot, we have Pamukkale Thermal Baths. Pamukkale is a town in Turkey that has thermal baths that are truly the most beautiful. Sparkling teal in color, these pools of water make you remember that the world is a beautiful, magical place. These baths formed as a result of an earthquake, and they are beside some historical cities. Notably, Hierapolis, an ancient Roman spa founded in 190 BC, is right beside these pools, so of course some believe they hold the wisdom and magic from the ancient times. They have also been nicknamed Cleopatra's Pool, as it is said that she swam there once. Damn, I definitely have to put this on my bucket list. In our number 2 spot, we have the River of 5 Colors. In the province of Meta in Colombia, there is a river that is basically a rainbow river, known for its many names: the Cano Cristales, the River of 5 Colors, Liquid Rainbow. This river is truly unlike anything you have ever seen. I know what you might be thinking. How is this possible? How can a river be colorful? Well, this is possible because of a few aquatic plants called fauna and flora that are always there, and they give the water the intense colors. The canyon and river is easy to visit. You just go to Serranía de la Macarena National Park and it's there. Pretty wild. I'm surprised that I have never seen one Insta selfie with this river before. In our number 1 spot, we have the Glowing Cave. There is a cave in New Zealand that's been given the name of the Glowworm Cave because, well, because it's full of millions of Arachnocampa luminosa, which is a glowworm species that is only in New Zealand. The glowworms are all seemingly at the top of the cave, just lighting up the cave in a very beautiful way. Did you ever have glow-in-the-dark stars on your ceiling as a kid? Or even still now? Whatever, they're cool. Anyways, I did, and this reminds me of that. Perhaps I wonder if this is where the creators got their inspiration from? Blonde moment. That's the stars, Melissa. Whatever, just love me. This wondrous cave is a part of the Waitomo Caves, and it is easily accessible via a boat ride. They recommend that you go with a tour guide though in order to preserve the cave and to not bother the glowworms. In our number 10 spot, we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is a tale of an extraordinary phenomenon where a piece of architecture was built on a slant, accidentally, and it never fell down. The Leaning Tower of Pisa took 200 centuries to complete, starting in the year 1173. Having multiple generations pass on the lowdown of building the structure makes you think that broken telephone may have been the cause for it turning out the way that it did. In any case, over the centuries it continued to slant more and more until 1990, when it was decided that something needed to be done as it was becoming unsafe, leaning 5.5 degrees from the perpendicular. It was blocked off to visitors until it was repaired and the leaning was decreased.
In our number 9 spot today we have the mystery spot. This mysterious location finds its home in Santa Cruz, California, and it was first discovered to be a place of interest in 1939. It is said that while searching this place they felt some sort of different forces at work. The spot is about 150 square feet inside of a circular area, and it is said that the reason for the strange occurrences here is some sort of change in the magnetic field. It is said that at this mystery spot you can see water flowing upwards, balls rolling uphill, and people can lean further over than normal without falling down. There are many theories as to how this spot became what it is, and they range quite a bit. Some people swear it's just all an optical illusion, while others are certain that it's a result of a meteor that fell to Earth long ago and it created some sort of magic circle. In our number 8 spot today we have the reverse waterfall. This mysterious and strange location is another one that comes from India. Here there is a waterfall, but it's got a catch. While we all of course expect to see water cascading down when we think of a waterfall, this strange location instead sees the water moving towards the sky. Some people believe it's because of some anti-gravitational force, others think it's due to heavy air pressure, and I'm not a scientist, so I'll let you decide on this one. While this certainly is quite a strange place, it also definitely delivers when it comes to beauty. I think even if the water flowed down like a normal waterfall, this area would still see a lot of tourists just because of the immense natural beauty. In our number 7 spot today we have the St. Ignace mystery spot. For this spot, let's start off with the story behind it. Legend goes that in the 1950s, some surveyors were exploring through Michigan's Upper Peninsula when one day it was realized that none of their equipment was working as it normally should. They of course began doing some troubleshooting and testing, and it was then discovered that these tools were only acting up in a circle that was about 300 feet in diameter, and thus this mystery spot was now discovered. This spot is now visited very often as it has become quite the attraction for tourists who want to see the place where, quote, gravity does strange things. It is said that at this mystery spot tall people appear short, and sometimes if a person stays for too long they might even start to feel a little bit queasy or lightheaded, so visitors beware. In our number 6 spot today we have the Australian Magnetic Hill. Over in Australia we of course have another magnetic hill. This one is sitting a few hours northeast of Adelaide. As you near the area you will see a gigantic sculpture of a magnet, and that is definitely how you can tell that you were in the right place. Through some sort of combination of topographic anomalies, this hill has some strange occurrences. Of course, like other magnetic hills, when you park your car in neutral, you expect and assume it will roll backwards, but here the car will, or at least it appears to, roll upwards instead. It is also said that not only does the car seemingly climb, but it also gains speed as it does. At the end of the day, despite what it may seem like, this is mostly just an optical illusion rather than some sort of strange force. In our number 5 spot today we have Cosmos Mystery Area. This location is another one of those popular tourist attractions due to the unusual things that can be seen here. Apparently the trees bow in weird angles, which is one of the reasons this area was discovered, but it doesn't stop at that. When playing a game of catch, well, things aren't quite as simple as they are in most other places. Here the ball is likely to go off course in ways you wouldn't expect. It is also another one of those places where you can find yourself leaning over a lot further without falling than you normally would be able to. We're talking like the gravity-defying Michael Jackson lean. While everywhere else that is quite the feat, here at the mystery area it's all just a part of the attraction. In our number 4 spot today we have Spook Hill. This hill is located in Florida, and it is said to be another one of the anomalies where gravity just doesn't seem to work correctly. It is said that the name of this place comes from a time when the indigenous people to the land were being removed by settlers. Here, while those who already knew the land were likely accustomed to the oddities, those who were newly settling and stealing the territory were confused by it. This is because as they were riding horses, they noticed that the horses were having a harder time going downhill than uphill, which of course would be different from the norm. This is what led to the nicknaming of this spot as Spook Hill, and ever since then it has been baffling people ever since. In our number 3 spot today we have Mount ARAGATS. This location is only about 30 kilometers away from the border of Turkey, and it has become quite a popular tourist attraction. Cars can go up parts of the mountain without using their engines, rivers are seen flowing against the pull of gravity. It's a strange place, and it's got a legend to match. According to ancient legend, this mountain and Mount Ararat, which is a dormant volcano, are said to have been sisters who were separated after a fight. Currently the mountains are now even even separated politically. This has led to a strong love between the mountains, and in their efforts to reconnect, we experience these strange gravitational phenomena. In our number 2 spot today we have the inverted falls. On the island of Suvura, which sits in the southern part of the Faroe Islands, residents experienced a very strange phenomena that they called the inverted waterfall. Basically, like the reverse waterfall, people experienced water spraying upwards instead of flowing downwards. According to weather experts, this was a result of a spiral column of air rotating up, sort of like a tornado. The edge of the cliff only helps to create a stronger rotation, which then sees a funnel of wind and water that appears to be rising and spraying upwards. Once we look at the science, of course, this isn't a case of zero gravity, but it certainly is quite a fantastic weather phenomenon. In our number 1 spot today we have the golden boulder. This rock, or really boulder, truly does look like it could fall at any second, but here's the thing. It's been sitting there for 2,500 years. On top of the boulder sits a pagoda, and while the boulder itself is said to be a naturally occurring formation, it is sitting on top of a natural rock platform. This is certainly a precarious situation, as on the side of the rock formation there is a vertical drop into the valley below. I mean, it seems like a terrifying situation, and somehow this rock just remains. There is of course a legend that goes hand in hand with this location and how the rock seemingly defies gravity, and that legend suggests that the reason this rock sits in place so well is because it is being held by a strand of the Buddha's hair. This boulder really isn't fixed in place, it just happens to remain there without any support, which really is pretty astounding. It is believed that this boulder can only be moved by the touch of a woman, which is the reason that women aren't allowed to touch the rock. Starting off this list at our number 10 spot we have Magnetic Hill. This is a location in India that has a legend surrounding it that suggests there is a magnetic force that pulls at a speed of around 20 kilometers per hour. I guess rather than a place where gravity doesn't exist, this one is like a place where there is just too much of it. This means that if you were to park your car but put it in neutral, while on most other hills you would most certainly roll down, on this hill your car will simply stay put, or maybe even find itself rolling uphill. This doesn't just affect things on the ground, however, it also affects those flying through the sky. It is said that flying over this area is troublesome for planes as well, and that they have to adjust to certain things like their speed in order to try and balance out the oddities of the area.
In our number 9 spot we have, okay, bear with me folks as I butcher this name, I really tried to look it up so hopefully I get the pronunciation right. Kityo Pagoda, the Golden Rock Stupa from Myanmar. I'm always amazed when I discover something so crazy magical that I've never heard about. I mean, of course, because hey, there's so many things in this world and it's impossible to know everything, such as this giant golden boulder that's just sitting on the edge of a mountain, no big. It's a mystery as to why it hasn't rolled off. This boulder is located on top of Mountain Kiat Kityo. It is standing on what is said to be a strand of Buddha's hair. Apparently though, the rock has been standing on this spot for 1,000 years, so it probably won't fall off anytime soon. This site is a popular place of worship for pilgrims. Very cool. In our number 8 spot we have ABBOTSFORD Hill. There's a very unique hill in Abbotsford, British Columbia that defies the laws of gravity, and if you drive on this hill and put your car in neutral, you will literally roll up the hill. It makes no sense, but it's true. The hill has gained quite a bit of popularity for its magical abilities. Apparently it's a part of a phenomena called the magnetic hill. There is a video clip that shows a man on the hill and it's fascinating. Some say that it's just an illusion, but I don't know, it certainly doesn't seem like an illusion watching a few people experience it. Have you ever been on a magnetic hill before? We'd love to know your experience in the comment section below. In our number 7 spot we have Mystery Spot. This place is literally called Mystery Spot. I'm not hiding the location from you, I swear. This is a place located in Santa Cruz, California that has some weird magnetic forces going on. There are some strange irregularities in gravity, such as water flowing upstream, magnetic compasses going whack, and apparently people change in size. How is this place real? I want to go check this out like pronto. Another cool thing about this place that makes zero sense and completely defies the laws of physics is that you can stand on an angle without falling down. That's insanely magical. We're all definitely going to put this one on our bucket list like right now, I just know it. In our number 6 spot we have the Hudson Bay area. This is another strange phenomena on the planet where gravity changes. In the Hudson Bay area in Canada, some kind of strange phenomena alters the gravity, and people who go there will actually discover discover that they weigh lighter. How? I don't know. I wonder if there are scientists investigating this currently. Several theories have been made about this in the past, but no definite conclusions. I mean, I know there are probably so many more important things for them to focus on, but I hope they discover why this happens at some point in my life. I so want to take a trip out there and bring a scale and see the difference. In our number 5 spot, we have St. Ignace Mystery Spot, Michigan. In the 1950s, a few surveyors were exploring Michigan's Upper Peninsula one day when they realized that none of their equipment was working properly. After some testing was done, it was discovered that a 300 feet in diameter circle was a mystery spot where gravity seems to do strange things and tall people appear to be smaller. Now, there is much speculation over whether this is an optical illusion or not, but what's interesting is that the people that have gone there have said that they feel queasy and lightheaded if they stay within the circle for too long. That could just be the result of nervousness from not understanding why the place is how it is, or it could literally be a result of the mystery circle, but who knows? The owners have turned it into a tourist attraction with a guided tour, miniature golf, a maze, and even zip lining. So maybe that's why nobody takes this area seriously and chalks it up to being an illusion? Perhaps. Oh, America, I love you and your entrepreneurial spirit. In our number 4 spot, we have Spook Hill, Florida. Florida is known for having a hill that is in the family of the magnetic hill phenomena, where cars roll uphill in neutral, and this hill is called Spook Hill. Fitting, as the idea of cars rolling upward is indeed spooky. As of 2019, Spook Hill was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Don't get too excited though, because apparently it is an optical illusion and they say that the ground appears to be an uphill when really it is a downhill. Damn, I really want to see this though. Fun fact about this area, there is an elementary school adjacent to the hill, and apparently to go along with the spooky theme, they adopted Casper the Friendly Ghost as their school mascot. I am so here for this. That is amazing. Why didn't I go to this school? I don't know. In our number 3 spot, we have Cosmos Mystery Area. In Rapid City, South Dakota, there is another mystery area that scientists can't explain. I always wondered if there was anything cool to see in South Dakota, and here is my answer. You only ever hear about the big states like LA and New York, so I love when I stumble across something like this in a state that we don't hear about too often. The Cosmos Mystery Area is another strange phenomena place where you can stand at a slant and not fall over. The reason? Possibly some kind of magnetic force changing the gravity, but there seemingly is no conclusive reason. What's cool about this place is that they say that you can stand on the wall. Yeah, you can stand on the wall. It's confusing to think about, but so cool to imagine. I really want to go. I must experience this at some point in my life. In our number 2 spot, we have Leh, India. On the way to Leh City in India, there is a magnetic hill unlike the other ones on this list. It is known as the magnetic hill of Ladakh. The reason it is unlike the other ones is that the locals believe it to be much more mystical. There is an old story around the place where apparently there was a time in the past when a road at Magnetic Hill existed, and this road took people to heaven. The people that deserved to go to heaven were pulled up while walking on this path, whereas those that didn't feel anything. Apparently on this magnetic hill, if you turn your car off and keep the engine in neutral, it will move your car up to 20 kilometers an hour. Wow, that's insane. Apparently when aircraft passes this area, the pilots increase their altitude to avoid magnetic interference. Wild. In our number 1 spot, we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, located in Italy, has mystified the world for centuries. The structure's foundation was built in the year 1173, and by the time the tower's foundation had settled and the builders had completed their other projects, the foundation had begun to settle unevenly on the ground beneath it, and as a result, the structure began to tilt. It took 200 years to be made, and then over time it continued to lean. By 1990, the tower was leaning 5.5 degrees from the perpendicular that it was actually too dangerous and shut down to visitors. Eventually it was repaired and they were able to decrease its leaning, and it became more safe for visitors again. Okay guys, so I have actually seen the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and boy, I must say, was it leaning? No, really, you see it in a photograph and think, damn, that looks like, it's really leaning. But then you see it in person and you go, damn, that's a leaning tower right there. Just saying, it's pretty intense. Would recommend.